quick shout out before we begin. A quick shout out to my friend Laurelle for providing such amazing channel art. And just background to have, I really appreciate it. Go check her out on Instagram at Bramflix. The spelling will be in the description. Hello everyone, welcome to Keep It Zen. I'm your host Zenadean, and today we've got a very interesting episode here. What we're going to do is, we got two things lined up for you. We got the original dose of debate with two special guests instead of one, debating what is the best medium between movies, anime and music. And then on the flip side, at the end, we're putting the debate first, and now what we're going to do is, if you want to listen and stick to the end to hear my own part, I'm going to be talking about the first episode, how that went, and then I'm going to be sharing a few stories about how the zoo went in college. There were some pretty interesting stories. I thought you'd be interested to hear about them, and I really hope you have a wonderful time with the podcast. Sit back, enjoy, and just have a nice day. Keep it zen. Hello everybody and welcome to the Dose of Debate. I'm here with two fellas, a multi-man episode this time, Kevin and Bongani. What we're doing here is we're going to debate what is the most effective and just overall enjoyable, best way to watch, listen. Would it be live action, being movies, anime or music? Everyone has their own corner to debate, and Kevin is going to take the helm for live action. Go on ahead.
Yeah, so I believe that live action is better by far than anime and music. Well, music in a way, but definitely better than anime. And I'll start off with my pointer with recognition. I believe that not I believe it's facts. It's straight up facts that actors that play in the movie get easily get recognition through live action movies. Whereas if you take anime for example, I don't think I've ever looked up one of the voice overs for anime. So I think it'd be harder to gain recognition through anime. As my starting point, I definitely think live action is better because of for recognition.
So you think recognition is better for
true live action?
True live action. What about you, Bongani?
Alright, so that's a fair point, but the discussion is which is better for the person listening or watching. For the average person, I don't think they would be seeking for recognition for watching something. So in terms of that, I say anime is better and more enjoyable because the action in it.
Most people are gonna watch movies if.
Let them talk first. Let them talk.
Okay, sorry.
No, I know what you're gonna say. Movies are good because more people are gonna watch it because someone famous is acting in it.
Yeah, exactly. So like, if you were to take my favorite actor, Robert Downey Jr., if you were to take him, and there's a movie coming out with him in it, I'd instantly go, yes, I'm definitely gonna watch this live action movie.
Did you watch Doolittle?
That's like, for
no,
example,
I haven't watched it yet, but I will. I'm planning to watch it.
Take the movie Cats, for example. Yeah, that movie was really bad, but there's so many famous people in it. So are you gonna watch that because there's famous people in it?
Did you say Cars?
No, Cats, the animal. Yeah, what is it? Isn't yeah that movie?
Cats, bro. I didn't understand that thing. But like, if it was a particular actor that I was following, I'd definitely be down to watching that movie.
If it's Robert Downey Jr. instead of Jason Derulo,
I would give the movie a try.
But for anime, like if you've seen anime, you'll agree that they take things to a different level than movies, because movies are restricted to what an actual person can do. But in an anime, it's more
so is anime.
Yeah, no.
Anime is restricted. I'll tell you why right now anime is restricted. Most animes are based off of mangas. Like straight up, they're based off of mangas. So they have to try and replicate everything that there is in a manga to try and make it into anime.
Well, I don't think there's any manga for the studio. Shit, I can't remember the name of them, but you know the ones that did Spirited Away and all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know them.
none of them are based on.
No, that's what I stated most. I didn't say all of them. I say most
They won
animes
like
are based off of
animated
manga.
feature of the year.
I didn't get that.
All right.
So I think
No, but-
overall anime. Yeah.
Basically, what I was trying to say that most animes are based off of mangas. So when directors and animators, they're restricted to try replicate what there is in a manga. They might switch it up a tiny bit, then so it's slightly different. But I know most animes are based off of manga, so therefore they are like restricted to what they can do.
I'd argue that they are not restricted because, by what I mean restricted is what a person can do. Because
Yeah.
a person, yeah, but
Yes,
the anime
bro,
they
and
could
literally that's the same-
decide to
it's the
make.
same. That is the exact same with animators, man. For
No,
anime.
no.
Well, I mean, you got.
Because
Would you count CGI part of live action? When I say CGI, I don't mean like random explosions. I mean more like. Do you ever see The Mask of Jim Carrey? Would you consider that live action? Like the way he
I
stretches and shit?
consider live action. I'd usually consider it based off of a cartoon. Most live actions, that's what it's based off. It's based off of cartoons that have been made already, ages, like in the 90s or 80s. Any cartoons that were made back then, and they
Yeah, I
were
remember
to
the Fast and
remake it.
Furious cartoon. Ran on for like
I
9
know.
seasons.
But no, live action. That's what I'm pretty sure that's what live action is. Is like if you were to take a Jungle Book,
Yeah.
that was a cartoon that was made ages ago, and it was turned into a live action movie.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair enough.
But if you take a look at that, if you were to compare between that cartoon and like a good amount of differences in it. So I don't know, someone can be restricted to doing some certain things.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Should I move on to my point now?
yeah, actually, yeah. What is your point on music?
Alright, my point in music is it's actually the exact opposite of what you were saying, Bongani. It's the fact that it's limited. You can't tell a better story, but you can get more creative and you can find new ways to tell a story to it's hard to explain, but it's like under the limitations you need to find a new way to convey this message, convey this story. A good thing would be Denzel Curry's Taboo, where he released this over 3 parts, 454 songs, and what he did was he took the themes from each part, linked them together somewhat loosely, but you can tell it was like a slow descent of a man getting into fame. He was somewhat happy with his life and then slowly descending into madness and chaos. But the thing is, the way the album is structured, it can also be looped, so you can enjoy it loads of times over and over again, which I feel like you can do that more versus a movie or an anime. Sure, you can enjoy them at the time, maybe one more extra watch, even 2, but like with an album you can listen to it 10, 20 times and you can either still be finding new stuff or just getting new appreciation or even just enjoying it at the time because the music itself is catchy. Another good example of that, it was JPEG Mafia's last album, I think. I cannot remember it for the life of me and I feel really bad for it. I should do my research more, but that's basically my structured point there.
That's a good point, actually. That makes sense.
I was trying to think of like
Yeah.
there are live actions where they use music as well, and you can see that even with live action that music gets recognition through it as well. I remember like I'm pretty sure that most people if they watch a movie and there's a good song in it, background music, they're definitely gonna look up that song right after.
Yeah,
Like, don't get me. I
for
think
example,
it's the same with anime as well. Don't get me wrong.
For
I
example,
know,
like the movie like Far Away from Home, the music in that was really good.
Sorry guys.
Did you not get? I said movies
No,
like
I
from
get
Spider-Man and stuff like that. Yeah.
but then there are like music. Alright, music there can also help with. I'd like to say anime. I remember Giorno's Team, for example. That was that became a big song. Like as because it got a lot of recognition. Loads of people started watching JoJo.
It's not even the best JoJo theme. I don't care. This is unrelated. Giorno's theme isn't the best JoJo. It's not even the best theme in his own part.
The funny thing is, I've not seen JoJo yet.
I know. I just wanted to get that out there. Okay.
I watched like the first 3 parts and then I just stopped.
Because
I
Netflix
got
didn't
bored.
have it.
No, I wasn't watching it on Netflix. I was watching it on like Kiss Anime.
Damn, bro. It's Smells like
But-
broken hair. No.
I built the first three parts, which like caught my eye instantly. It was like really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it came to part 4, I just like get more interested in it.
Yeah, it's understandable.
That's
Fair enough.
As well with Attack on Titans, I used to love Attack on Titans, especially. And I think I watched the first 2 seasons, and then when I came to season 3, it started to like go downfall. In my opinion, it started to go downfall.
Really?
And then after that 3rd season, I stopped watching Attack on Titan because I just didn't feel it anymore. I'm supposed to be backing up live action. Well, I don't know why I'm talking about anime, but like
I know, you're making great points about anime here.
Well, here's the thing. There's a
no,
difference.
my main point is what I was trying to make is that music can also help like anime get recognition.
Yeah.
So that's why music can be better.
Yeah.
I talked to Giorno's team about it, that JoJo has gained a lot of recognition because of
Yeah, but the thing is,
even though you say that's not the best team song, but
yeah, I know. But
that's up for debate still.
see, the thing is, there's a difference between using music to help tell a story and telling a story through music. And I feel like there's a very big challenge when it comes to the latter. The former always helps. You could always throw some sad violins over any scene. But the thing is, how many times have you heard Back in Black in an action movie? Or Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne? It gets old. People use the same music a lot.
Yeah,
But
true.
when you dive into a different there's no way you've heard a brand new album that's just come out unless it's internal take.
No, but if someone was to make a new song or new album, it could be just for a certain movie, if that makes sense.
It could be, and that is true.
I haven't done my proper research on this.
Logic
like for
released
music.
an album to go with his book, which wasn't good. Both, not one or the other. And the thing is, that is obviously it doesn't apply to any of us because none of us are debating about books because books are stupid. But the thing is, with it, you can tell a story with a movie, but I feel like it's extra impressive if you don't even need the movie to get a basic story with it, and it's just more interesting that way. And if it's an add-on piece, I just think it adds to both, not take away from each other.
Yeah, I do believe that like music does have like a story, or like there is a hidden meaning behind it. But I was trying to think of musics in movies, and while I was thinking about it, it was like most music that you do hear in movies, there is no like meaning behind it. It's mainly just to set the mood of the movie.
There is one.
I don't think I've ever watched a movie that had a song in it that there was. Oh yeah, actually, Parasite. Have any of you watched?
Not yet.
No, not yet. No.
Okay, do you know what it's about? I reckon like quickly.
I'm going to assume it's about parasites.
No, it's okay. So it's about these poor, I think Korean. It's one of the Asian countries. Well, it was one of. I think it was Korean. Yeah, it's a Korean movie. That's what I know. So that's why I'm gonna say it's Korean. So it was about there was this Korean family who basically leached off of a rich Korean family, and that's why it's called Parasite. It's because the poor family leached off the rich ones. But in the end, like at the credits, there's a song called 500 Years, and because one of the actors, he told his dad in the movie that he will one day buy that house.
Mm-hmm.
And because they were poor, they weren't making enough money. So the song 500 Years implied that that guy had to earn, that it would take him 500 years to earn the money to buy that house that he wanted to buy. Yeah. And I remember seeing that. I was fascinated when I heard about.
There was another example that I was going to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes,
I doubt any of you really care about spoilers, especially for TV shows. Not like Game of Thrones level TV show, but the show is How I Met Your Mother. And,
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck, my earphone.
Yeah, I think I know which one.
Jesus, I'm so professional. The first time the mother's introduced, the song that they're playing is called The Funeral. And they do this like 2 seasons in advance before the final episode. And in the final episode, it skips through like the final 2 episodes skip through like 15 years, and we find out the mother died of a disease. But like through music and obviously other ways, I just thought it was a cool little Easter egg, just to show.
Yeah, most movies do that. They have like these little Easter eggs. It could be like to try let viewers find them.
Yeah,
or it could be like something that they didn't mean to do, and it's just.
I find it so much better when it is meant. Just because usually then there's more than one. Like
in anime,
generally there is it.
In anime, like the music isn't like exactly the popular music that shows like a lot of meaning. It more like enhances like the scenes in it. For like there'll be sad music for like sad parts and like action music for like the action parts. And then, but like there's some songs with like meaning. For like example, in One Piece, the first time we met one of the main characters called, he had this really sad song that he used to sing with like his crew, like and then his entire crew died. So the song changed from like a happy song to a song with like a lot of meaning because
Skull joke.
Yeah, it's the same with movies as well in general. Like music is used to set a mood mainly. So, but there are sometimes when there is like a special, like a hidden meaning behind it.
Yeah, that's true. I just feel like you don't need the extra thing. Music can be used as a tool, but I feel like it's so much better when it's the main thing. And like, see, both of you have made points of, yeah, it's good to help the mood, help the scene in a movie, but that's also what music videos do, the exact same but the other way around. A music video helps set the scene for a song, and it's a good way to build on it. Like, this is a bit of a stretched example because it is like a fucking 15-20 minute music video for like a 5-minute song, but Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson tells this huge story over like a long time based on Annie and Michael. It's a good supplement for the music, and it helps make the song's message a bit more clear without shoving it in your face. I just enjoy that more. I know this is like a personal thing at this point, but I just feel like when you hear something and it's not shoved in your face, you get to interpret it yourself. Is just a nice feeling to have, especially when you're listening to music in general.
No, I don't know. I think like with video games, it with movies and anime, it could be mostly just a set theme. I don't know. I'd love to see what if you know any one with like a meaning behind it, or that has a story to it.
Music wise?
Yeah.
Well,
like in video games.
In video games, oh, that's a good one. Aside from the really cringy Sonic ones, then like you know, the ones like the rock ones from like the early 2000s. That they've been bringing back recently. Oh my god, thank you, Sonic Forces. Aside from that, I want to look up, but all my games are digital, so I can't even look off them. For video games, that's really tough. Usually, it'd be like the main theme of a video game, or like the ending credits theme. I'm pretty sure if I looked hard enough, I could find like a meaningful song in like Code Vein or some shit.
Yeah, there's definitely you can look it up on YouTube. There are like conspiracy theories behind it. Yeah. You can definitely find something. Definitely,
you can find something in anything if you look hard enough. Even stuff where there isn't things to see.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. With movies, this is generally with movies where you can look up and you'll definitely find something on it. I don't think this has ever been the case with anime. So there's like, anime is something straightforward. There's never anything you like viewers have to try find like a meaning.
No, I would disagree with that.
Okay, go on.
I see what you're saying, because the main basic animes have like not much meaning, but there's some like animes that have like no. And I was thinking of more Steins Gate, because like that has like you have to like kind of follow through everything, and you can't really get the point straight away. Like for me, Steins Gate was like an anime where I was like, at the very end is when I understood everything, because the way it's broken up, it's like, it's kind of confusing, but it's like really good, and it's not straightforward as well.
Like the
but that was at the end.
The Promised Neverland in the first episode was very good at doing what Bongani did a lot shorter, honestly, in a 20-minute time frame, but you can pick up on the hints earlier on in the episode.
Yeah, there are some other animes like that as well.
Yeah, with anime,
like the one I'm reading.
With animes, there are definitely where there are in certain episodes. Maybe it's like it could be like a really small thing, and it could like build up this one thing, and you'll find it more out on like in the later episodes, or maybe even in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could have to wait so long for it. Like I'm trying to think of what series isn't finished yet. There's like one series that has a lot of episodes.
One Piece
in anime.
One Piece, yeah. Naruto.
Yeah, One Piece. Yeah, I think is One Piece still going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they have little resolutions inside each other. Like in arcs and stuff that you have satisfying conclusions with, and still an end goal in place. It's not going to go on forever.
Yeah, but there will be an end to it.
Yeah,
and then that
there will
eventually, and that end bit could have like such a huge meaning, which could have basic like little things that you could have seen in each episode, or you like even you might not have noticed it, that you might have to like go back to the episodes to try and find it if it was actually there. So in the last one, in the last episode, yeah, it could literally reveal everything. But you could have to wait so long for it. Like with One Piece, who knows when that's gonna end? Like who knows when the last episode is? And until then, to be revealed was being like a hidden meaning.
The One Piece.
Yeah, the One Piece. I'm sure everyone knows. Like it describes like what the main like end goal of the thing is. Like at the start when it's describing what the One Piece is. Kind of.
It was Boogie's nose. See the thing is.
Wait, hold up. Wait, I wanna back up my point. All right, is One Piece based off a manga?
Yes.
There you go. Most animes are based off a manga, so
anime shows are based off a manga. Yeah, so they can.
Yes. Yes.
That's the main thing about. But it's like someone creates the manga so it can be animated as well, though.
Yeah.
It's like in the manga itself, it's like there's unlimited stuff you can do, and that's what they want to do in the animation as well.
Yeah,
that's what movies as well. They're like movies which are based off of books.
Yeah,
like 50 Shades of Grey. That's based off a book.
Well, see, the point I was making back then is the fight scenes in anime are like to a different level of where you can't create it in a live action.
What I'm saying to counter Kevin's point is, the thing is, over here we see it as the anime is the main thing, the manga is like there too. But in Japan, where the place is made, where everything is made, the manga is the main thing, and the anime is like, oh, cool, this exists too. But people buy the manga more than watch the anime. Like that is the main source of entertainment.
Of course, because most things in anime shows, they leave out certain parts which aren't in the show, but that are in the manga. That's why I haven't read any mangas yet. I would start reading them, but I'm pretty sure you could find something in the manga which hasn't been put to the show.
If you were to read manga, like I would suggest the original series of Yu-Gi-Oh! Before the card game. It's really good, and they didn't have it for a long time.
You really like Yu-Gi-Oh! So much.
Yeah, of course I do. If I like something, we're going to talk about it. Trust me, if you read that first season 0, I believe it's called. If you read that, you'd love it too, because it's not. See, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime itself is like for kids, but the original manga is definitely not. That's like 15 plus.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's dark as shit.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Is really good. After I agree.
Yeah. To go back to the point of some anime, has some hidden meaning and some doesn't, like a lot. The thing is, with every Science Gate, you're gonna get a Black Clover, which is mindless fun. It's the same with like Inception and Fast and Furious, or like, for example, Taboo and Dilit. Playboy Cardi, let's go. With that, you're looking at a case-by-case scenario, and you can't just like, here's the gold of her compared to the shit of over there. Like, it's not a fair comparison to say. We're looking at it in general overall, the straight limitations of each medium and why we would prefer one or the other. Everyone likes different genres of movie, anime, music, whatever, and I just feel like if we keep trying to go case by case, it'll be a lot more difficult, because sure, I can counter anything you could say about Dragon Ball, but you can counter anything I say about a Earth, Wind and Fire album, because it's not as good as the Titanic, or Scooby-Doo isn't as good as fucking I'm trying not to think of a Leonardo DiCaprio movie. I just really like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah,
So what,
fair
like,
point.
Leonardo DiCaprio, if he was to bring out a new movie that will be rated like really bad, would you still watch it?
Absolutely. But I'd also
Yeah,
do the same with an artist like Denzel Curry. Or I'd also do the same if it was a certain voice actor. Because I really like voice. I know you're not, like, there is a lot more recognition in normal acting than voice acting, but voice acting does have a good bit of recognition. Like, I can spot Matthew Mercer. He's a voice actor. He plays McCree and Jotaro and Hit in Dragon Ball. I can spot his voice from a mile away, even though he's really good at changing it. Same with like Patrick Seitz, Sean Schimmel, Christopher Sabat. There are loads of people, and even in the actual Japanese, like Daisuke Ono, for example, or Masuko Nozawa, two very good voice actors. Like, you can recognize their voice and how they change it. Like, you can recognize Johnny Depp and how he changes his appearance, and like from Pirates of the Caribbean to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like, they don't look the same at all, but you can tell it's Johnny Depp because of the recognition in the movies, as you can with voice acting.
Yeah, but alright, so my question for you will be, what would attract you to watch a anime show?
A what? You got out there.
What, like, with live action, you already said that if you saw a trailer of a movie coming out and Leonardo DiCaprio's in it, so what would make you watch a certain movie?
Well, since you cut out like balls there, I'm gonna try and guess what you said. But what I'd say is, if there was an actor that I really enjoy in there, that would be a good reason for me to watch it. If it's a certain director or genre that I like I really like comedy movies a lot, and I also like horror, like very bad horror, like Nightmare on Elm Street, or like Jason Takes Over New York, like horror like that, slasher films that are kind of shit, you know they're shit, but they're good as well, like Sharknado and all. Or if it has a nice idea, a cool idea, and it like catches me in the trailer, like when Us was coming around, I think that's what it's called, Us, the second Jordan Peele film. When they kicked off, when the road trip, I Got 5 on it, it's a banging song. The remix is great as well. Like, it was, that movie caught me instantly, and it wasn't even a case of I loved Jordan Peele's films. They were like, okay, I wasn't that big into Jordan Peele, but the premise of the movie interested me so much that I wanted to go see it, and I enjoyed it a lot.
But what's called for anime.
Yeah, for anime, it's more.
Because with movies, it would be trailers that would attract the person's attention to watch that movie.
Yeah,
with anime,
animes also have trailers as well.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't
like,
see.
They're just not following the right people.
If I go on you,
you will find loads.
If I go on YouTube and like, if I was to watch a video, if I was to get an ad, it would be an anime movie. It would be of an anime.
Oh no! But if you went on to Crunchyroll and you didn't pay, you would get like 25 different ads. Not even the same ad.
Depends where you look. It depends where you look, really, because your example, like Crunchyroll, would be all anime and stuff like that.
Yeah, what is Crunchyroll?
Crunchyroll is,
but if you got,
it's Netflix for anime.
Yeah, so
basically,
of course they're gonna like base it off anime.
Yeah, but you also get targeted ads. Sure. Like if you're into anime, if you're not into anime at all, you're not gonna get ads for anime. If you are into anime, you're going to get ads for anime. Not even just in that, but like on the web in general, because that's how targeted ads work. It all depends on what you put in. You only get out what you put in. If you really wanted to get into anime, you would obviously look something up yourself, because there's no way you just immediately find something and you're into it. You usually hear from a friend or on a review or some shit like that.
Like for me as well, I never get any like ads for like movies and stuff like that. That's why I'm always behind on like what movies are coming out and stuff like that, because it depends on what you really look at, and that's how they recommend stuff to you. But I'd get like ads for anime and stuff like that. That's the difference.
So the thing is, I watch YouTube channels and stuff based on all three. I have mostly Dragon Ball YouTube and some One Piece. I watch movie reviews like Dead Meat. He does The Kill Count, which basically he takes an old horror movie he counts all the kills and he says what's the best and worst one, just a little review and summary of the story. I really like his thing. Turns out YouTube stole one of his thumbnails for their own movies. But aside from that, I listen to Anthony Fantano and Sean C, and they're like two big music channels, so I get ads for all three because they're the kind of people who I watch.
Yeah, I get you.
No, yeah, definitely I get you.
No, but let's talk about like for you, like why did you choose like a topic? Kind of see, Kevin, you chose like movies, and Kit, you chose music. Like what makes it for you the topic that you like?
Kevin, do you want to go first or will I?
So, why I would prefer movie to
let's not talk about like recognition
movies
and stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to give my reason to why live action is good, not like regarding viewers, like regarding in general why I think it would be better. But if I was to look from my point of view, why I would prefer live action to anime, they're like mostly similar, like regarding music as well. Music will be there to set the mood as well, and anime music will be there to set the mood as well. So I couldn't really argue against that. It will be just recognition for music that I will give it to live action. Most people, I don't know, could be for anime as well. If there's a really good music, that I would go and look it up after.
But without like thinking of recognition, stuff like that.
Why I go for music personally would be I'd go for music just because I like how restrictive it is and how people overcome it, and the main reason why I'd go for music over the other two is just because of how re-listenable it is. Because songs, I can take a song outside of an album and I can just listen to it in my playlist and I can mix and match it, and it's like customizing my own album. Obviously it's not nearly the same as actually listening to an album itself, but the adaptability of music I feel like is so much more appealing compared to the straight and narrow of an anime or a live action film, where I can just get my own experience out of it. There's a lot more interpretation. Like obviously there's interpretation in some movies and things, but there's so much more because you can't nearly show as much, because you can't clearly show what the message is going to be until you try too hard. Then it gets bad. Kendrick Lamar's album, I prefer Good Kid, Mad City, but I'd say To Kill a Butterfly is a better way of showing it. Where you understand the story of his struggles and what the hood did to him, but the thing is about it is you still have to have some things up for interpretation for yourself. There's no way you got every single experience, because he's not showing you every single experience. He's telling his side, and he doesn't know everything in the world, but it's catchy enough and it's interesting enough that you want to re-listen, and you pick up little bits here and there over and over again till you get a firm grasp and you don't get sick of the song. It's a lot more difficult to get sick of a song than it is to a movie. Like my favourite movie is Football Factory. Basically it's a movie about football hooligans kicking the shit out of other football hooligans. But I love that movie so much, but I can only watch it so many times before I'm like, I'm sick of this.
Yeah, before you get tired of it, yeah.
Yeah. For me in anime, I choose it because like the balance it has between like music and like how unrealistic the things can be. Because like for me, I watch anime because it's something that you wouldn't see in like a normal like series or movie set. Like obviously the music is there as well, but like it's so unrealistic and like it's so stupid how unrealistic it is. And I like seeing something that you can't really see in like movies. Because let's look at like something like Dragon Ball. I haven't really watched Dragon Ball, but I know that like they have like something called a fusion. Mm-hmm. Where they fuse together and become something like another person, and like it looks impossible to do in like movies and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and that's why I like it.
Do a little dance. You're a new guy.
Yeah. They've done it so many times with like some anime, but like it's never really the same because the mood changes between like they're limited. It'd be so expensive to like make an actual anime into a movie because of like the things and props you'd need.
The thing is about anime, sure it has the most scope and the most freedom, but also has the biggest room for error. Like the reason why I pick music over anime, because like with music 95% of the time, unless you're shit at your job, you will have a fully polished or mostly polished finished album out there. No a few time constraints, but not full time constraints. Like you have a year to do it. But with anime, it's a week by week basis with a bunch of animation errors,
Yeah.
and like to the point where Naruto versus Pain looked ridiculous. Like I can't watch that. Like his face is just so stretchy. I just can't look at that and be completely okay. Like, yeah, no, this is grand. Like, I just can't do it.
Yeah, the timing of it is like really bad. 1 week for one episode is like really long.
Dragon Ball Super as well was really bad for it. Where like you'd get these abysmal drawings the entire time because they didn't have enough time to actually do it, and because they had so much time constraints, they had to redo the movies that they made years before just to pad out time so they could like actually animate the stuff that they wanted to, like new content and filler as well. Like you won't get filler in an album,
Yeah,
and you won't get
you wouldn't have filler or in a live action. But fillers in anime is something that like kind of throws it off. Fillers are actually nice because like there's more like throwback or something, but like they're just a waste.
I don't think I back up my point. I was thinking about the points that I was saying. That I was giving like my advantages on why I think live action is better, and I was basing it off of recognition, or like from the what's it called, like the studio sort of base of view, sort of like a recognition that has nothing to do with me. It's more towards the actual like directors and actors and so then. But I'll start off with music, I suppose, why I picked live action instead of music. Music for me, don't get me wrong, I love music a lot, especially in movies because it sets the tone. But with live action, they're sort of like relating it with the music and the what the actors are doing, just like makes it more sort of intense. I don't know if you do it as well. If you listen to music and then you like relate to it in a way.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Or there could be like a certain song which just like hypes you up so much, and it makes you like feel like you're in a movie.
Yeah,
I don't know
absolutely.
if you ever. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. Like live action with music, like both of that combined, just makes like hypes up the movie really good. That's coming from my opinion. Other people can have like other opinion on it as well.
That's fair enough.
So with anime is tough because the only difference really with anime is that it's animated. But what I can base it off is that anime is based, not all of them, most of them are based off of mangas. So I could already read the mangas and know what's gonna happen in the show as well. Whereas with movies, there are some movies which are based off of something. Other could be based off of like a real life event which no one knows about,
Well,
and they turned it into a movie.
The Titanic. Like obviously people knew about the Titanic, but they weren't there.
Yeah, they weren't there, but experience it in a way of like what happened. Whereas with anime, like you couldn't experience an event in anime.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, there are some animes where it's like that. Like most action animes, there's no way you can be related to that. But like there are some set animes, like for example, I'll use like Clannad as an example. That's a really sad anime, but like it shows like it's kind of more realistic and shows like the bad side of life, and or like that made it really sound sad, but it's more relatable, is what I mean.
Yeah, here's the thing though. I want to hop in on your point as well, being that you don't have to literally relate to something to relate to it. Like Black Clover, for example, obviously there's no such thing as like magic books and grimoires and stuff, but you can relate to being living in the country outskirts, not having much money, and not being particularly skilled.
Relate to it exactly. They're like
parts
to it which
the
you can relate
characters'
to.
attitude and stuff.
Most anime, there is something relatable to it. Like everything, there is some sort of relatability, because there's no way people come up with an idea that you cannot relate to whatsoever. Because if the creator can't relate to it, it's either not going to be made at all, or no one's going to enjoy it enough for it to be popular for you to see it, if you get me.
Yeah.
Like it can be down to the case of if something's so batshit crazy, you can relate to that in a way of, oh, I usually like sit down at night and just think about these mad scenarios. Like, everyone does it sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. And music works that way as well. But you can with movie as well. You can do it like if you, let's say you're with your girl. You're not gonna watch like an action movie. You're most likely gonna watch like a romantic movie.
Depends on the girl.
Yeah, okay, it does. But I think that most couples would watch sort of like romance sort of related movie.
Maybe.
Even if it has like comedy or something else in it. If it's like romance related,
I'm gonna assume you're on about like the earlier parts of a relationship as well, because I think later on.
Yeah, definitely. Because once the relationship evolves, then like you're gonna go watch off whatever you want.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, like relating to a movie, there are like some parts where, of course, you can't relate. Take Jurassic Park for example. You're not gonna relate you with a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that.
But I don't know. I'm gonna bring up shows for a second. If you were to take like 13 Reasons Why, for example, one of the biggest shows that Netflix has released. Like so many people can relate to it because of bullying and like the issue that does happen in our world.
Yeah.
So of course, like relatability with movies, there are some parts where you can relate, some parts where of course you can't relate, or even just to like get an experience of a past event. But with anime, I don't see how you can like proper relate.
I'd say for anime, I'd say for anime, it's more relating to the character and like the kind of stupid things they can do, and like because everyone obviously acts differently around people or like how they are themselves. So like, yeah, kind of that idea of maybe like a character. I don't know, the character's personality more.
I feel like anime could hype up a person though. Like I remember when I watched JoJo. After watching it, I feel like so hyped up. I don't know if that's with like anime reviews as well. Yeah,
definitely. Getting hyped up of any, you can get hyped up from like anything really. And for like another anime or animation, I'd say there's this animation called BoJack Horseman. It's like it kind of deals with how a person like would react in situations like that are good and bad, and like it's super realistic on how they handle like things.
It could work for music as well if you actually think about during certain scenes like hype you.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing is, when that happens, it's usually because of the music, not the character. Unless it's a case of this has been built up over a long time and now it's finally getting its payoff. Like,
yeah, it's 100% because of the music, honestly.
Yeah, like that one time in JoJo Part 3 where JoJo just kicks the shit out of Steely Dan. Like, for a good half a minute at least, just punching the shit out of him. Like, the music was a big reason, but also because Steely Dan was being an absolute dickhead the entire time also made it that extra bit of like hype and satisfying.
Yeah, but music had an effect on it.
Absolutely.
But just the character itself, I feel like that would also, and it's the same with movies, don't get me wrong. I definitely think that there are like certain characters in movies which does hype you up during a certain scene. Let's take Avengers Endgame for example. Like the end scene of it, like the final fight, like you'd feel so hyped up, and especially when the main team plays during that final scene, it like properly hypes up a person. I know I got so hyped watching it at that scene.
I think it's like the build up of like everything, like every scene that makes you get hyped up, because like you wait for like the build up of like the whole sequence, but then like at the end is when like it actually happens. So like
I know, I feel like with movies or with music as well, music does have an effect, as I already mentioned, but I feel like it does have a big effect. Whereas if there were movies which didn't have music, like background music during a certain scene, it wouldn't change dramatically. There would some it won't be effective, but there would still I feel like it'd still hype up people, like especially during some scenes. As I mentioned, like with Endgame, the music had a big effect, but I feel like even if there was no music, it would still be like something really, like it would still hype up a person.
Yeah, and I suppose in that regard, through that entire thing you're talking about, music doesn't really have the opportunity to give you that like hype that character can, because you know if a certain feature was on it, you'd know from the get-go. There's not really many surprises when it comes to music, like there would be. Like, I feel like for that in particular, it's a lot better with a show or an extended multi-movie series rather than a single movie. It's a lot harder to do with 1 or 2 movies. Anime is really good at that, and shows too, especially like shows that you grow more attached to. Like, I like to say sitcoms specifically, because it's a lot easier to grow attached to the characters than it will be anything else, because a sitcom is so similar to life and the characters are usually a lot more relatable, that you do get that sense of satisfaction when a character from previous would show up or something like that, because you can't get that with music. It'd be like cool when you first see like the track list or whatever, unless they keep the features hidden, but they don't really do that anymore.
Yeah, so I was talking about like how a character was like can hype up a person or a movie, and I asked Bongani as well, like if there would be a character like without music being involved, would there be a character that could like hype up a movie or an anime show or a person even in general? Like if there's no music involved, because usually there is music involved, which can, in anime especially, which can hype up a person or even the show itself.
Yeah. So in relation to that, I'm gonna talk about, there's a scene in Black Clover where the main character and his friend are losing in a fight against like one of the stronger opponents, and the appearance of like one of a stronger allied character is something that really hyped up the show. And there was not much music behind it. It was just the appearance itself was amazing, and like, that character really hyped up the situation.
Was that the scene in the tomb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good scene.
Yeah, I agree with that. That has some pretty good points to come up, but I literally cannot debate against it because it's taking out the one thing of me.
Yeah, because music is only based on like just the song or music, it's like beat itself. Like there's nothing you can really, there's nothing else unless like a music video sort of can, depending on how.
Yeah, watch the music video without listening to music. It makes the box really weird.
Okay, I haven't watched that yet at all.
Honestly, do it. It's a trip. This has been Dose of Debate. I'm here with Bongani and Kevin. Do either of you have anything you want to shout out before we leave?
Shout my Instagram at KevinContent20.
Yeah, and shout out my Instagram as well at Bongani_10.
Alright, cool. They'll both be in the description. I want to thank you both for having us. What? No. I want to thank you both for joining me in...
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Absolutely no problem.
Yeah, thanks.
It was a great idea. I'm glad both of you decided to come on at the same time. Add a nice dynamic to it. Hello folks, and welcome to Keep It Zen. I'm your host Zenadean. First off, I want to start the podcast by saying thank you everybody for your support and your criticism. I really appreciate everything that you've been doing. The feedback has been great, honestly. The whole podcast has been doing very well. Obviously not spectacular, but it's only the first episode. What are you gonna do? I know the episode itself is actually pretty bad, at least the first half anyways, and I'm gonna give a little insight into how that entire episode actually went. So what happened was, first of all, I recorded the debate before absolutely anything else. The way I recorded it, the only way I can record both voices is so I hear myself constantly talking in the mic. Like, anytime I say a word, I'll hear myself. Really threw me the fuck off. And that's why I was like saying my words very long. And it was really tough, but it was so much fun. I had a really good time. There was a problem with today's debate where the audio kept cutting out, so I had to scrap it because of how bad it was. The debate itself was pretty fun. I got my friend Michaela on. She agreed to do another episode with me at a later day. In the meantime, I am getting a different guest on. I'm not entirely sure who it is yet, but it'll be fun. There will be a debate today. You don't need to worry about that. And also, for the first part of the podcast, the actual awkward part, obviously it was my very first time and I didn't have much topic. I didn't really have set topics to go off of, and that was kind of shitty. I probably should have been more prepared, but the thing is, this is like on a whim thing, and I wanted to have it out on the Wednesday, so I literally only had time to do what I did. I had no seconds to spare. As soon as that uploaded, I immediately left for work, so that was uploaded. I tried my best to keep it entertaining, keep it smooth, keep it fun, and that didn't really work out because I was just awkward, but it's okay, I'm gonna get better at that with time. It's just one of those things that needs practice. One thing that was for sure was I was definitely lacking content. However, I'm not lacking content this time. I have 3 stories to tell you here, and they are all around the same thing. Don't worry, it's not going to take a massive amount of time. They're pretty short each. This is my 2nd time recording this bollocks. They all have to do with my time in the zoo with my college, which was a living hell, honestly. Yeah, no, it was really, really bad. It was constantly lashing, and it was so cold that my hands just wouldn't move. The thing is, I have a problem with that in anyways, where even if it's just somewhat cold, people might, like, to the point where someone would shiver is when I can barely move my hands and I have to just get the fuck inside or just keep myself warm somehow. But yeah, diving into that, I had 3 very interesting experiences. The first one here was me and a group of my friends. There was Michaela, Carolina, Leia, Jamie, and Aaron, I believe. We were just chatting while we were drawing lines, and what happened was we were just chatting shit, messing about. I think we brought up fucking Lil Nas X and Billie Eilish music in general, and I jokingly said Billie Eilish was from Ireland. And the moment we were just being loud and obnoxious, I was being the least amount of annoying for once. It was great. As soon as we left to go grab something to eat, our friend Jamie stayed there, and he just heard and recorded all the shit that they were going on about. Like, there was a group of people next to us from a different school. They just came in that week, and like it was the first day of the week, so we had no idea who they were. It turns out one of them even had like a fucking Billie Eilish shirt on and all, and they were like just snapping, being like, oh my god, they're so annoying. Oh, they wouldn't shut the fuck up. Like, oh, if I see them again, I'm just gonna tell them straight to their face, and I'm gonna make them shut up if they don't. And this is like some fucking tiny girl or whatever with like her mates. Well, obviously she was a college student, but you get what I mean. Like fucking 4 foot, whatever. Well, we went to the cafe and then we got a text with the recordings, and we heard the shit that they were talking. Like, my friends really wanted to kick the shit out of these people. It wasn't even, well, no, it was very funny. I had to be the voice of reason a little bit, but I don't think anything I would have done would have stopped how angry they were. They were like, I'm gonna go find them and I'm gonna go kick the shit out of them. I'm gonna smash their face in. And then I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck are you on about? They couldn't even hurt a fly, to be honest. Well, they could. They're not that aggressive, and I feel like as soon as they would have, if they would have got themselves on the shit, it would have been difficult for them to get out of. But it was very funny seeing them get so pissed off to the point where they were genuinely thinking about like going after them. I just stayed back and had some tea at the time, and then I went to follow them. And like as soon as we went up back to the lines where they were, they like immediately left as soon as they heard us. Like, we saw them walk out the other side, like in a bit of a rush. They didn't like run around, they were like just walking very fast. They just, I don't know, it's a very anticlimactic end to the story, but I just thought it was a funny moment at the time, at least. So leading on from there, I just want to go on about how boring the fucking zoo was. I was basically going insane at that point. Like, there was a point where I was just, there were 2 red pandas. There were 2 red pandas chilling in a tree, just minding their own business, being cute, because red pandas are easily the best thing at the fucking zoo. But what happened was I just looked at them, and then I was like, I wonder what their lives are like. I'm gonna name them Craig and Steve. Alright, so you got Craig McLaughlin, the homegrown red panda from Ireland, living in Dublin as you do. And then you got Steve Cena, a fucking immigrant from Massachusetts who's trying to make a living out in Ireland because the zoos in America just aren't nearly as cool. I don't know. I'm just kind of going with it. But basically what happened was Steve moved in from Massachusetts, West Newbury in fact, and he was just chilling. He was just chilling in Ireland. He was looking for a place to live. Craig was like, I'm going to be a good panda. I'm going to be a good boy. I was a good citizen. I'll open up my pen for Steve and I'll be fine and dandy. But the thing is, Craig didn't realise how much crippling debt he would be in because of Steve. Now, Craig was in the middle of paying off a mortgage of his little wooden house in his pen. It was just not going well. Like, Steve came in and he was acting like he owned the place. He wasn't giving any money to Craig. Like, he was being a proper grade A dickhead. And he just didn't think that Craig needed any help. Because if Craig's opening up a house to him, why would he need the help? We're thinking, I know, but Steve's an idiot. Not me, I promise. Yeah, so what happened was, as soon as Craig couldn't pay the payments anymore, he got his house repossessed. The house was still there, he just wasn't allowed to enter it. So he decided to live up in the tree beside the house, and he was going to go up to the spot. But Steve was already there. And he was just like, yo, get the fuck away from my spot, I've already claimed this shit. It was in the higher point of the tree, so you could just see fucking Craig. He was sad, he was waddling down to a lower part of the tree, and he just curled up and went to sleep for 18 hours, as red pandas do. Maybe not 18, but they sleep a lot. They're cute as fuck. So Craig is just chilling at the bottom of the tree. And he's working his ass off, modelling for us, drawing so we can make some money. He's basically selling his body to nice positions for artists to draw so he can make money for his mortgage, which he has been doing, but he's doing it a bit more, and he was doing such a good job that he got his house back. But once he got his house back, Steve immediately went in and just took over the house, and he was like, yeah, get the fuck out, Craig, you've lived in the tree before, you can do it again, this is my gaff, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Craig was like, he was bummed out, he was being a virgin while Steve was being a Chad, but Steve wasn't a good kind of Chad, he was just a dickhead. So what Craig did, he was chilling in the tree until he had enough, where he just fucking invaded into the house with like a bunch of leaves, and he was just like, fuck off, this is my place, I don't want you here anymore. And then they had like this huge argument. Oh, the other animals could hear it. There were flamingos in the pen beside them who were obviously showing their concern, going up to the fence being like, hey bro, is everything okay? So they had to pretend to hang out for a little while just to let the things cool down. They ended up becoming somewhat decent friends. They're not best friends, I wouldn't say. They're like frenemies, not even frenemies, they're just like acquaintances at this point. You kind of just know each other, but they don't really interact with each other anymore. It's kind of a sad situation that Craig's life became what it was due to Steve being an absolute dickhead. But it's just one of those things where he just lived and learned and let on, and that was rough for him, but it's understandable that he was able to go on with himself. And yeah, that was basically the fucking headcanon that I had in the 3 weeks of the zoo that I got so fucking bored with that I spewed out this bullshit. I thought it was an interesting enough story. There was more to it, but I cannot remember it right now because I'm not as bored as I used to be. Speaking of boards, my last story involves a few things. There was a good bit of lead up to this. During the first bit of the zoo, it was made clear that we needed drawing boards to lean on. So I was like, okay, cool, let me make one because I'm not buying one, which is a bad idea, but whatever. So I ended up going to work, and they had these huge, like, flat pieces of wood. Not that strong, but like you could reinforce them with stuff or whatever. Like, it was just like sheets of, it was like a mix between cardboard and wood. It was hard to tell. It'd be like kind of the thing they use for like tables. So what they did was, we got the thing, we like cut it in half with a knife, and I just took a big huge piece that was almost as tall as me. It went up to like just below my shoulder, above my elbow. Like, that's how big it was, and it was like the same width as me. So I was like carrying it around. I left that at my friend Dylan's house because I didn't want to carry it all the way home on the bus. I ended up forgetting it the week to go back, so I went back another day, picked it up. I also drew a little bit, just a little design on where I wanted to actually have it cut. I was gonna plan to take it home and cut it at my friend's house, who's a carpenter. Just like, I know he'd let me use it at the time. I don't think he would have, but it would have been nice to try. If not, would use like a knife or something. But what happened was, I ended up forgetting it, and then I was like, hey, I'm gonna go to... I ended up bringing it in to fucking zoo. I brought it to the zoo after going in a bit late and picking it up from my friend Dylan's house, and I just left it behind the bin in the zoo. I tried my best to make sure no one noticed, but when I wanted to leave, I had to like go back, pick it up. Like, I went back, picked it up, and the teacher was just staring me out because I don't think he realised that I had the board in the first place, and there's just sheer confusion on his face. It was an interesting time. It was it was very interesting at the time. But yeah, I ended up going back, and then I went on the bus to Forbidden Planet with my friend Carolina, and what happened was, first of all, I was walking down the stairs trying to get off, and I accidentally like whacked her in the back of the head with it because the bus stopped suddenly, and I like shot forward and I tried my best, and I felt really bad because like the edge of the fucking thing as well, and she just gave me the fucking like deadest look, like as if I meant it, and I was like, so I was sorry at the time, and now I'm not sorry at all. That shit's funny as fuck. But and then I ended up actually leaving it in Forbidden Planet. I left it in Forbidden Planet, and like I left it somewhere near the downstairs area. I was picking up some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I think it was. No, I was picking up my JoJo poster, and I just like left it there. The stuff I bought I kept with me, but I ended up leaving the piece of wood there, and I didn't realise until I was on the bus going home. And now I was just wondering what the fuck they were doing with that piece of, like, there was a piece of wood with a bunch of drawings on it, just left in Forbidden Planet. I don't know how I managed to leave it there because it was fucking huge, and like I was struggling to carry. I wasn't struggling to carry it, but I was struggling to keep a hold of it the entire time. It turned out okay in the end. It didn't. I didn't get it back. I never got it back. But it was an interesting time nonetheless. Yeah, that seems to be all the stories that I have for the zoo at the current moment. So anyways, that's that. I wanna just let ride out, I guess, because the podcast is now finished. Thank you for joining me. Once again, thank you to Brown Flakes. Thank you to Bongani and Kevin for joining me on the Dose of Debate. Thank you for all the criticism that I've been getting.